What's good, everybody? It's the GOAT Aaron Brown, and this is the moment that we all been waiting for. The Olympic trials, and I'll be doing the predictions for the events that matter, the events that don't matter. Forget about it. But if y'all want to see any event predicted, list it down below in the comments, and I'll be sure to try to cover that event. But in this video, we'll be doing the men's 100 meters. This event starts like within the next 48 hours, so I wanted to push out this prediction. And if you look at the screen, these are the top qualifiers this season, or like this within the qualifying window. So from July of last year until right now. Noah Lyles and Christian Coleman tied at one with 983. You got the high school of Christian Miller, 993 this season. Kendall Williams, 993. Brandon Hickland, 994 this season. Crayvon Charleston, 995 last year. Fred Kerley, 996. Ronnie Baker, 998. Kenny B, 1001 this year. Brandon Carnes, 1001. I believe that was last year. And Cooper Bibbs, 1001 this year. And honestly, when it came to me doing these predictions, it took a lot of critical thinking, past analysis, and common sense. And I'm one to say that I pay attention to patterns, I pay attention to habits, and I took all of these things into consideration when it came to making my picks for the 100-meter team who will be going to Paris. These are the heats for the first round of the 100 at the trials. First heat notable names, we got Kyrie King, Noah Lyles, Crayvon Gillespie. Second heat notable names, we got Fred Kerley, PJ Austin, and Kendall Williams. Third heat, we got Brandon Hickland, Crayvon Charleston. Fourth heat, we got Christian Coleman and Brandon Carnes. Brandon Carnes, he finished fourth at the trials last year. Last heat, we got Ronnie Baker and Courtney Lindsay, and the high school of Christian Miller. So I think those are the notable names in each of the heats. First, we got the high school phenom who's been super consistent this year. He has ran 9 seconds multiple times. He was the world leader in the whole month of May. He ran 993. And people were saying, it was in Claremont, it was a fluke, blah, blah, blah. And then he came back in New Balance Nationals at Franklin Field. And this stadium has been up for 100+ years, and it's a very historic track, very historic stadium, and it's known not to be fast. And he became the first man in history to break 10 seconds at Franklin Field. So I know he's in a super crazy shape right now. He's in 9.8 shape, bro. He ran 995 at Franklin Field. No one has ever broken 10 there, and it has been some notable names that's ran in that stadium throughout the years. From the Carl Lewises to the Justin Gatlins and people of that nature, all the Jamaicans. So I think he's in really good shape. We'll see how he manages these rounds. He ran the New Balance. He ran a really decent first round, then came back and dropped 9 in the second round, and then he skipped the final round, in which he should because he had the trials a few days later. And then now we got Brandon Hickland. He's been super consistent running 9 this year. He got third at the Prefontaine Classic behind Christian Coleman and Ferdinand Omanyala, like a close third. He's ran 994 a few times this year. Been looking pretty decent. Been super consistent. So he's another person that we got to watch out for. He's not one of those super big names that people just know and say, but he's been running super decent times. He's been consistently under 10 seconds. He's ran 9 like 3 times this year. He's been on a circuit, getting wins on the circuit in bad conditions in Europe and collecting his bread on the circuit. So he's one that you really got to look out for too, because he's hungry to make this team, and he's not willing to let somebody take a spot from him. Like, if the spot's right there, I feel like he's willing to reach out and go get it. But without further ado, this is my top 3 that I have for the trials. I have Christian Coleman winning. I have Fred Kerley getting second, and I have Kenny Bennett getting third. Christian Coleman, he's been rounded into a great form this season. He's been running 10s, 10-1, 10-1. Then he dropped 9 over here. Like, he was running 10-1s out there in Asia when him and Fred was running like 10-1 out there in Asia. Everybody know those tracks aren't fast. And it was early in the season, so that's really a decent time for out there. And that's why I had Fred Kerley in second. because he was out there running those times in those ASIC spikes. You hit the ground in those spikes, you get no energy return, and that's probably one of the main reasons Fred Kerley is leaving ASICs. Like this man ran 9.8 in some ASICs, so that's why I really feel like he's really going to make this team. He's going to be back to the Fred Kerley that we're used to seeing. And I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, Fred Kerley haven't been having a season that he wanted to have." Like, how is that the case? He opened up 10:03. Kenny Bednaric's season's best is 10:01. You got to think. Noah Lyles only broke 9 one time this year. His season best was 10:01. And he's broke 9 this month. Fred and the rest of those guys, they haven't even ran 100 no time soon, like in a month and a half, 2 months. Besides Coleman at the Prefontaine Classic. So I feel like all of these guys are going to be in their best shape. And when all of these guys in their best shape, I feel like these are the 3 best. So in that case, I got Fred Kerley getting second. And it's going to be a close second to Coleman, because even when he was running his ASIC spikes, it was still a close second to Coleman. So him in another brand and better spikes, getting better energy return on the Eugene track, yeah. And then I got Kenny getting third. Kenny's in the best shape of his life right now. He ain't never ran like this. Well, this consistently. Well, he said this is his first year on the circuit where he hasn't been hurt or anything. So Kenny running his first year fully healthy with no injuries, no setbacks. I feel like he's going to be super dangerous, because we see him be dangerous in other years. Like he's the Olympic silver medalist in the 200. And he was injured that year. And then this year he opened up with a faster time that he ran at the Olympics to get second, which was his PR. He opened up 19.6, and he still has the world lead in the 200. And he's been running pretty decent over the 100. He's been running 10.0s and windy 9.9s. And people are so excited about fast times early, but those don't equate to fast times late. So these guys running in a high 10 range, the low 10 range and the 9.9 range, I feel like that's a decent shape for them to be going into the season right now, and we're into the U.S. trials, just to be in decent form and then go into these trials in a minor peak, and they'll be where they need to be to make this team to get top 3. I know a lot of y'all are super surprised, like, oh, he made this list and he doesn't have Noah Lyles on the list. I have Noah Lyles getting 4th or 5th, and I have a 4th between. He'll be fighting for that 4th place spot with Christian Miller. I feel like with Noah Lyles, he's been working on his 60 for the last 3 years. He's been getting better and better at the 60. And despite him getting better and better at the 60, his 100-meter race plan is still super flawed. Like, he was damn near a 6'4" guy last year. He ran 6:51. And he was still super left in the blocks. It just didn't translate to the 100 this year. He ran 6'4" in the 60. And it just hasn't translated to the 100. He still be left in the blocks. Or sometimes he'll get a good start, but he's just super inconsistent in his race plan. And I feel like that'll cost him, just like it damn near cost him last year at trials, but he ended up getting 3rd. Matter of fact, let's watch the race. Bro is just such a fucking clown. This is bro at trials last year. Like, look, bro, what are you doing? Like, you just know you got the win secured. So he's in lane 4 in this 100-meter final at USA's last year. And before you even watch the race, I want to show you this, so y'all don't think I'm tripping. So if you look at the top, you see the rounds Noah Lyles ran at the trials last year. He ran 10:05, 9:94, and then he ran 10 flat. And that just goes to inconsistency in his races. Because before this meet, like, I know y'all want to say right now, oh, he's ran 9.8 this year, blah, blah, blah. He ran 9.8 in Jamaica on that track in the hot. Like, it's not going to be that hot in Eugene. It's not the Jamaican environment. There's like a lot of things to just factor in. And not only that, if you ever ran in Eugene before, you know how it's like, it's hella trees out there. And for some reason, the pollen be everywhere and everybody allergies just be going crazy. Like, if you've been in Eugene, you know. So all of that shit comes into factor. But before trials last year, these were the times Noah Lyles ran. He ran a 9.9, 9.90, 9.92, 9.80, 9.97, and then he went to trials, ran 10.0, 9.94, and then 10.0 again to get 3rd in the final, and barely got 3rd. Damn near got beat by Brandon Carnes and he ended up going to win the world championship. But that's why I feel like Noah Lyles isn't going to win, because him and his coach doesn't take the trials serious. Like, they train through the trials to peak for the global championships, but that almost cost bro last year. And his race plan is super flawed still. Like, he's just inconsistent in his start. Some races he have a good one, some races he don't. And it's just something you just can't depend on. But yeah, those are his rounds last year. And I feel like he's gonna do something similar this year. Of course, I feel like he's gonna run like 9 9s instead of like 10 O's. But USA's really never just be fast, and it's super unpredictable, especially with it being an Olympic year. Everybody's on dope, so you just never know, bro. But anyways, let's tune back into the race. He's in lane 4. You see he was glued to the blocks and he come bear crawling up out them bitches. Bro, Mel was hurt. Cravon Charleston pull away from bro. He closed on Coleman a little bit, but he ran 10 flat. Brandon Carnes ran 10:02. He had a good start in the round before, and then in the first round, and then the final round, he had that start that had his ass glued to the blocks. So that's why I don't have Lyles making the team. And plus, I just don't like that nigga. Like, I mean, that's not the reason I don't have him on the list, but I just don't like, bro. I feel like I had to say that. But that's neither here nor there. Can he make the team? He definitely can make the team. Hell, he can win a trials if he go runs the race of his life. But I just feel like he's too inconsistent in 100 to make this Olympic team, especially with everybody about to be on dope this year. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I just think people are be too focused on times that people ran. Like, he ran 9:8 last year before the trials. He got third type shit. He ran 9:8 this year, and people paying attention to the 9:8 that he ran and not to the way that he looked in that 9:8. Like, he ran 9:8, and during Oblique Seville's transition, he ran the fuck away from Noah from like 25 to like 50 meters. And hate to break it to him, but if he let Kenny and Coleman and Fred, hell, Christian Miller, Brandon Hicklin, if they get out and transition like Oblique Seville did on bro in Jamaica, them guys not coming back. And if they do come back, he gonna run out of real estate and be in that 4th place spot. But that's why I don't have him on the team. But we will see. Y'all drop y'all predictions down below in the comments and let me know which event y'all want to see me do next.